Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. Welcome to another edition of the Master of the Mat. I am your host, Anthony the Origin Bryant, and the music you heard in the background is the Gorillas of Destiny theme song from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Give me 1 second.
Hello, America.
My bad. That was Veterans Day. But anyway, this is another edition of the Master of the Mat. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am back. Today's topic of discussion, we're going to talk about championship pursuing the rivalries of all time, the possibility of twin versus twin at WrestleMania. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today in the Master of the Mat. We're going to get right into it. And we're going to kick things off with the greatest rivalries of all time. I have my top 5 greatest rivalries of all time. I'm going to give them to you later on. I'm going to wait for enough people to get on so that way we can get right into the subject. Yeah. So All right, well, we're not gonna wait no longer. We're gonna get right into it. So, the greatest rivalry of all time. I have my top five greatest rivalry of all time. Starting with Vince McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin, number five. Um, WCW versus WWE, number four. Number three would be The Rock and Triple H. Number two would be Ric Flair and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And number one would be Shawn Michaels and Bret the Hitman Hart. Those are my top five rivalries of all time. And I love that Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart rivalry because just when you thought it was going to just when you thought it was going to end, it got better. Sean said some things. Brett said some things. They all said some things, but it was just that is my favorite rivalry of all time. Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes. That rivalry, I love that rivalry because it was almost like the Celtics against the Lakers, and you had Dusty Rhodes, who was a huge Celtics fan, and you had Ric Flair, who's a huge Lakers fan. To this day, he's a huge Lakers fan, and that rivalry really revolutionized NWA. Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes rivalry because at the time, many people can look at it like it was the Booker against the world champion. There's no secret Dusty Rhodes was a Booker of NWA. Dusty took the NWA to heights it had never seen before, and he was the mastermind behind a lot of famous tag teams, except for the Four Horsemen. That was all Lon Anderson, and I get to that in a later show. But the rivalry that speaks out for me is Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes. I love that rivalry because these two guys did not like each other at all. And I mean, when I mean they didn't like each other, what the Horsemen did to Dusty Rhodes was like criminal intent. They followed that man in a Cadillac and beat that man to smithereens. So that rivalry, Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes, and to culminate that rivalry came to a halt. Well, you thought it came to a halt when Dusty took the national title from Teddy Blanchard. No, it didn't. It came to a halt when Dusty finally won the NWA World Championship from. It finally came to a halt when Dusty won the NWA World Championship from Ric Flair inside of a steel cage. I want to say it was a Starcade. I could be wrong. I know it was a steel cage match, but it was a awesome rivalry. My number two rivalry would be, or my number three rivalry, the war between WWF and WCW. That was the ratings war was crazy because for 84 weeks Nitro dominated. And the thing about that is this: when they defeated WWE for 84 weeks, you had to turn to Nitro because you never knew who was going to defect from WWE or WWF at the time to Nitro. I mean, look at the people that defected. Rick Rude, who and they did it all. Rick Rude, who was on a tape Monday Night Raw, showed up on a live Monday Nitro to join the NWO. Okay, guys like Rick Rude defected. Guys like Kurt Hennig defected. You never knew who was going to defect. It all started with Scott Hall coming on the Monday Night Raw and Larry Zbyszko playing it off, and then you seen Kevin Nash. Then the shocker, the whole thing. Hulk Hogan turns bad guy, drops a leg on Randy Savage, and from that point on, he becomes Hollywood Hogan, and the NWO was born. Now, in my opinion, if it wasn't for the NWO, WCW would not have beat WWF 84 weeks in a row because you tuned in. If you was a diehard wrestling fan, you tuned in to WCW just to see who was going to join the NWO. I know I did because the NWO was basically half of the NWO was ex WWE stars. I mean, don't get me wrong, Kevin and Scott starred in WCW as Rennie Vegas and um what is Diamond Stud, and you had a lot of the guys who did a lot of the things, but Virgil, who's a former $1 million champion, Ted DiBiase, who was an original member of the NWO, all these guys, and he had six who at that time was in WWF as 1, 2, 3 kid, but All these guys made their names in WWE. Hulk Hogan was the foundation of the WWF. Okay, and you put all these guys in the mix, you got something special. Then you get Kurt Hennig who defects, who turns on Ric Flair and joins the NWO. Then you bring on Rick Rude. Okay, then you get all these guys and you split them apart, and the NWO becomes the NWO Black and White, the NWO Wolfpack, and you still do good business because you never knew who was going to join. Then you bring Brian Adams, who was known as Crush in WWF, make him join NWO Black and White. You're talking about wrestling. If it wasn't for the NWO on WCW and D Generation X and WWF, wrestling would have been boring. The stuff that Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and China was doing on Raw, I mean, come on. In today's wrestling, can you honestly say you can get away with playing strip poker in the middle of the ring? I don't know about y'all. I think we got robbed in that game. I was looking forward to China to strip something, but we didn't get China to strip nothing. All we got was Shawn and Hunter in their draws. I don't know about. I don't want to see that, but that was entertaining. And to see guys go out there, to see Shawn and Triple H go out there and make complete butter itself, and the CWO go out there and just dominate with the Outsiders tag team champions, with Hogan as the world champion, and you got guys that you wouldn't expect become NWO member. I never expected Marcus Bagwell to become NWO. I never expected Scott Norton to become NWO. I never expected Horace Hogan. Now Horace started in Raven's flock, but the Disciple, aka Brutus the Barber Beefcake, aka the Butcher, aka Zodiac, that guy had so many names I don't even remember half of them. Good Lord. But yeah, he defected to the Dungeon of Doom. Okay, I'm gonna get the story of the Disciple. He started off as Brutus Beefcake, then defected as Zodiac. Then he was the man with no name. Then he came back as Brutus Beefcake. No, as the Booty Man. Then he came back as a Disciple. Then he became One Warrior Nation, and you never heard from him again. And that was a big blow to nothing. But it didn't. That was made WCW. Now, in my opinion, what killed WCW's win streak is when Tony Schiavone went on national TV and said, well, WWF is about to make Mick Foley, who wrestled here as Cactus Jack, their world champion. Ha! That's going to put butts in seats. You know what that did? That had a lot of people who watched Cactus Jack in WCW turn the channel to Monday Night Raw and watch Mankind, a.k.a. Mick Foley, defeat The Rock to win his first WWF championship. And from that point on, WWF went on a winning streak that lasted until Vince McMahon bought the company. He bought the company, and you got to respect that. WWF, any other company, if losing 84 weeks, WWF put up a fight. And when I mean they put up a fight, they put up a fight. These guys, they went out there and they just went toe to toe. Like I said, you had DX, then you had the NWO, and it was wrestling at its best. On one channel, you had the NWO. On the other channel, you had DX, and you had WWF. WWF, in my opinion, had the best tag team division because they had the Road Warriors, they had the Headbangers, they had the Godwins, they had the DOA, they had the Nation of Domination, the Savio Vegas group, whatever it's called. I can't even pronounce it. They had the best tag team division. They was doing good things, but they wasn't getting the ratings. Then in WCW, you had the NWO, you had the Four Horsemen, and you had the cruiserweights. My God, the cruiserweights. If you didn't watch WCW, you watch WCW for one of two things: the cruiserweights and the NWO. Because Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, and Halloween Havoc, woo! I can watch that match all day long and not get tired of watching that match. Them boys went out there. Rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero. Them boys went out there, and you talk about in the words of JR and when the words of JBL, somebody called the sheriff because them boys went out there and stole the show. After that match, you didn't want to watch Halloween Havoc no more because you figured the show was going to be crap. What Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero did should have been criminal, should have been against the law. They went out there and they was given a time. Bischoff gave them 20 minutes. Then he told the referee, it's not going to do nothing. Let's give him 5 more minutes. He gave him 25 minutes. You don't give Rey Mysterio, you don't give Eddie Guerrero 25 minutes. That's stupid. We don't do that. He gave him 25 minutes. They took 25 minutes and made gold out of 25 minutes. I see 3 people watching. Let's get the likes up to 5 likes, people. They went out there and they did gold. They turned gold. They turned 25 minutes into gold. And the rest of the crap was craptacular. It was really, well, DDP and Randy Savage was kind of good, but you couldn't live up to Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. I don't care who you are. You go out there. If Eddie Guerrero was still alive today and you put him in a match with Rey Mysterio, I wouldn't want to follow that match. You better make that match the main event. What they did for 20 minutes, and they had 25, what they did for the Cruiserweight Championship, woo, man, I'm telling you, that was good. That was a good match. That's what made WCW beat WWE, because of the Cruiserweights, because of the NWO. Nothing else. They try to hype up Lex Luger as this savior for WCW. It was working. Luger finally got the break he deserved when he defeated Hogan in Detroit to win the World Championship. But why would you let Hogan win the belt back from Luger? Let Luger keep the belt for about 2 weeks or a month and have him drop the belt at the following pay-per-view to Hogan. No, they dropped the belt right back to Hogan that Saturday. Stupid decisions like that, which made WCW lose in the ratings down the line. And that's just my number 2 rivalry. Now, I got 3 people watching. Before I go into my last rivalry and go on another subject, I want to hear your favorite rivalries. Put it in chat, and we can discuss it before I go into my favorite rivalry. Because my favorite rivalry is an all-time classic. So, to everybody, the 3 people that's watching, what is your favorite rivalry of all time? Let me hear it in the chats. I'll give you time. Oh, I know. I got 3 people. Okay. That's my number 1. That's my favorite rivalry of all time. Anybody else? I see Toya said, and I got 2 more people watching. Come on. All right, y'all want to say nothing? That's fine. I'm going to just go right to my favorite rivalry. My favorite rivalry, Toya put it in the chat, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. And I'm going to tell you why it's my favorite rivalry. This wasn't only a rivalry to put on TV. This was personal. This was personal. And when I mean personal, it was personal. It was babyface Shawn / heel Shawn versus babyface Bret / heel Bret Hart. And this rivalry made both of them a ton of money. The famous line, that wasn't a bad rivalry, but I'm going to get back to this. The famous line of Shawn Michaels of all time, even though you've had more sunny days than I have, that right there, if you understand, okay, so here's what it is. I'm going to break it down to you. At the time, Shawn Michaels and Tammy Lynch, a.k.a. Sonny, was dating. This is after she broke up with Chris Candido. Shawn and Sonny was in a 6-month or 7-month relationship. It was told to Shawn Michaels that Bret Hart and Sonny had an affair. It wasn't true. That's why Shawn Michaels made the statement, "You've had more sunny days than I have." It was an incident that happened in the locker room on a live event between Shawn and Bret, where Bret took a chunk of Shawn Michaels' hair out of his head, and Shawn broke Bret Hart's nose. That was the night everybody thought Shawn Michaels was leaving and going to Nitro. No, Shawn stayed loyal to the WWF, and that rivalry from they only met at WrestleMania and at Survivor Series. Their first meeting at Survivor Series was when Shawn Michaels was the Intercontinental Champion and Bret Hart was the WWF Champion. Bret Hart won that match. He made Shawn Michaels tap out with his He made Shawn tap out with the sharpshooter. They met again at WrestleMania 12 in the all familiar Iron Man match. 60-minute Iron Man match. The match went to a draw. Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart wrestled 60 minutes, a perfect match. Just when you thought Shawn was going to tap to the sharpshooter, the bell rings. At the time, the president of the WWF, Grandma Zone, gets in the ring and said it must be a winner. Got back in the ring. Shawn and Bret went back again for another 15 minutes. Shawn hit Sweet Chin Music, pins Bret Hart to win his very first WWF Championship, and from that point on, the rivalry was born. Survivor Series, gang related. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Shawn Michaels, challenger, current European champion at the time. Bret the Hitman Hart, champion. This was supposed to be Bret Hart's last match with the company because he was going to WCW. Now, the backstory behind that is this was Bret Hart's last match. He had no more matches in his contract. Bret wanted to hold on to the championship and relinquish the championship the next night on Raw. Rumor has it Eric Bischoff told Bret Hart, if you keep the championship, bring the championship to WCW and throw the champ. We're going to do the same thing we did with the women's championship and throw it in the trash. Vince caught word of it. Vince wasn't having it. What happened was Vince McMahon's Triple H made the statement, if he don't want to do business, we do business for him. Shawn put the sharpshooter on Bret Hart. Bell rings. Shawn wins his third and final WWF Championship. Bret Hart spells in the air WCW underline. WCW dropped the ball with Bret Hart, in my opinion, because they waited until Starrcade to debut Bret Hart, where if I was running WCW at the time, I would have debuted Bret the following night on Nitro and let him express himself how he feels about being WWF champion or being robbed of the WWF championship. The Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart rivalry will be forever my favorite rivalry of all time. I am the biggest Shawn Michaels fan there ever was. And that's why I say Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart rivalry will be the biggest rivalry of all time. Tori put another one she put down here, the Shield versus Seth Rollins. Hey, it was the Shield had perhaps one of the best runs ever was. They came in, they won the U.S. and Tag Team Championship. Seth and Roman were the Tag Team Champions. Dean was the U.S. champion. After they defeated Evolution back-to-back pay-per-views, Seth Rollins turned on the Shield to be who he is right now. Now, I'm not the biggest Seth Rollins fan. I'm hoping that he loses the championship to Drew McIntyre at Crown Jewel. If you ask me, they should have gave the belt to Nakamura, but hey, that's WWE for you. I feel like Seth Rollins is coasting on that championship to get him over where, I mean, don't get me wrong, and Seth is the only man in WWE history to be the NXT champion, the WWE champion, the Universal champion, and the World Heavyweight Championship. He is the that was good too, yeah. He's the only man to do that. He's the only man to hold all 4 world championships in WWE. Now, with that being said, he didn't. He wasn't that good. He was. He. I saw him in Ring of Honor when he was Trevor Black. He wasn't that good in Ring of Honor. He come over. He called himself the Messiah and blah blah blah. This and that. He's not that good. I am so sick of Seth Rollins right now. It's not even funny. And this is why I say Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns are still better than Seth Rollins. Roman has it in his blood. Roman's father is one of the Wild Samoans. His cousin is The Rock. He also got cousins like Tamina, Nia Jax. He also got cousins. Yeah, they're all cut up. That Samoan clan runs deep in WWE. And the last rivalry I'm gonna talk about before I move on. All right, I see one person putting rivalries. All right, two other people, whoever watching, put in your favorite rivalry so we can talk about it. Come on, get involved. Or say hi or something so I know somebody, three people watching. You can put it in while I'm talking about Evolution versus Randy Orton. When Evolution turned on Randy Orton after he won the World Championship, now that was funny. That was funny. That was funny. And you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming because when Orton defeated Benoit at SummerSlam to win the World Heavyweight Championship, making him the youngest world champion of all time, you knew Triple H wasn't going to stand for it. You knew it. You knew he wasn't going to stand for it. Triple H did not like it. Oh, that does make sense. You knew Triple H wasn't going to stand for it. You knew Triple H was like, well, he wasn't going to stand for it all. So the rematch on Raw between Orton and Benoit, and Triple H gives Batista a thumbs up. Next thing you know, puts thumbs down. He drops him on the back and completely destroys but Randy Orton, and that was awesome. That was awesome. Orton would go on to have a 35-day reign as World Heavyweight Champion. It will take him almost 5 years to win another World Championship. It Orton was, after Orton left Evolution, his career skyrocketed. He had a rivalry with The Undertaker, which he lost. He had a rivalry with Batista, which he lost. And it was just like, a lot of people Sean couldn't stand, but it was awesome. It was awesome. That was one of the greatest rivalries of all time. All right, so next we're gonna switch gears because somebody put in the chat on the WFW page. Let's talk about perhaps Jimmy Uso or Jay Uso perhaps win the Royal Rumble or twin versus twin at WrestleMania. Now, I have a lot of thoughts on that. I have a whole lot of thoughts on that. Main event Jay Uso. Okay, here's my thoughts on main event Jay Uso. He showed us what he had during the pandemic. He really did. He almost beat Roman Reigns twice. Almost. He was this close to becoming Universal Champion. And by them pushing Jay Uso, that shows you right there that they have faith in Jay Uso. I don't know what's the issue with Jimmy Uso. I don't know why they're not pushing Jimmy Uso because he's just as good as his brother Jay. But for the Usos to break up, and as you can see, I got my Uso hoodie on. Yes, I'm a Uso fan. For the Usos to break up and for the Usos to go the way they didn't go, that match with Roman and Sikoa and Night of Champions. No, was it Night of Champions? Yeah, for that match with Roman and Sikoa at Night of Champions was simply awesome. The Usos stepped up in a big way. The longest reigning SmackDown Tag Team Champions of all time. And I gotta say this without a slap in the face of nobody else. There's no other tag team better than the Usos right now. I mean, Judgment Day, they're all right. Gable and Otis, Gable was more concerned about winning the Intercontinental Championship than becoming tag team champion with Otis. The Street Profits, they're doing their thing with Bobby Lashley right now. The the OC, I haven't seen the OC on TV in a long time. The brawling brutes, they can't beat Pretty Deadly, and Pretty Deadly, they're injury prone. So there's no tag. The tag team division in the WWE sucks right now. I mean, it's a whole lot better than AEW's tag team division. NXT got a better tag team division than AEW and WWE. So it's Impact Wrestling. But it's just, to my opinion, they need to build up their tag team. You're telling me Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso was supposed to win the tag team championships? Nah, it don't. It just doesn't seem right to me. It's like you got the talent there, make tag teams. Give a tag team, since the Usos are non-factor, give a tag team who don't deserve. I mean, not don't deserve. I'm sorry. Give a tag team who deserve to be champions an opportunity. Okay, and give the New Day, the Viking Raiders. Um, a lot of tag team deserves that opportunity to become champion. Uh, I'm just saying, just do what you got to do. You're dropping the ball now. As far as Jay Uso winning the Royal Rumble, I don't see it happening. I really don't. They do. I agree with that 100%. I don't see Jay winning the Royal Rumble for two reasons. One, because he's not there yet, and for two, he's not there yet. He put on a heck of a performance against Roman at SummerSlam. Yeah, he did. I don't think he has the stamina to go in and do 1 through 31. There's only three people who done that, and that's Shawn Michaels, Chris Benoit, and Edge. And I don't think he. I don't think he can do it. I mean, he may can shock the world and do it, but I don't think he can do it. Yeah, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. As far as twin versus twin at WrestleMania, it's possible. It's possible. But the bigger question is this: do you let Roman's reign surpass WrestleMania and go for another year, or do you end Roman's reign at WrestleMania? Do you let Roman's reign go a whole another year, or does it stop at WrestleMania? Roman is perhaps the best world champion of all time in this era, but he's not. I guess he feels he's done it all. Well, you about to fight LA Knight at Crown Jewel. And Kevin Nash on his podcast said that LA Knight is just a ripoff of The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Um, that's no better than what Ric Flair said about Shawn Michaels' match at WrestleMania 10 when he made the statement Shawn Michaels went out there and had a 5-star match with the ladder, and it just so happened another guy was in the match. He was talking about Scott Hall. So I think these legends don't give these guys an opportunity to shine like it's supposed to. Everybody's a common copy of somebody. I mean, it really is. You look at okay. Let's take it back. Ric Flair stole the Nature Boy name from Buddy Rogers. Okay, Ric Flair stole his strut from Fabulous Fargo. It was called the Fargo strut. Jeff Jarrett stole it from Ric Flair, and he stole the strut from Ric Flair. Um, I stole it from Jarrett, and I'm not gonna lie about that. But there's a lot of people that made money off of carbon copies. The Rock went out there when after the whole Rocky Maivia and started talking the way he talked, and once they put him with the nation, he talked and he got better at talking. Then he got better at insulting. Then he got better at this and better at that, and he became one of the best talkers on the mic. Steve Austin, who was in WCW as Stunning Steve Austin, who didn't talk that much. Vince McMahon gave him opportunity to talk. Stone Cold went out there, drunk beer, talk, raised hell, and won a lot of championships, beat a lot of people up. Half the time, I think he was drunk when he did it. Yeah, I mean, you got a guy who was in WCW as Mean Mark Calloway, managed by Teddy Long, then managed by Paul Heyman, came to WWE, became The Undertaker, and became a household name and became a legend. You don't believe me? Look at this shirt. The man, the myth, The Undertaker. I mean, Vince McMahon took Dwayne Johnson and made him The Rock. He took Steve Williams and made him Stone Cold Steve Austin. He took Mark Calloway and made him The Undertaker. He took Paul Levesque, a blue blood from Connecticut, and made him Triple H. He took Sean Waltman and made him 1-2-3 Kid, X-Pac, and X-Pac. He took Brian James and made him the Road Dogg Jesse James. And all of those guys he made, they became famous. He took Michael Hickenbottom. Well, he was already a star when he went, but he took Michael Hickenbottom, transformed him from a tag team wrestler to one of the greatest of all time, and Shawn Michaels. He took a guy who couldn't do an interview right, and Sid Vicious called him Psycho Sid, then dropped the Psycho and started calling him Sid, and made him a big star. He took a tag team that many people say was dangerous in the ring by the Road Warriors and made them a Hall of Fame tag team worthy. You look at what Vince McMahon did. He took a guy that was trained by Shawn Michaels, that came in as a member of the Nexus, got fired, came back, beat The Miz for the U.S. title, dropped the U.S. title, went on to beat John Cena for the WWE Championship, started growing a goatee, and started the Yes Movement. And Daniel Bryan. What's up, Andrew? I'm good over here. And he started the Yes Movement, and he started the No Movement, and then he became the Yes Movement all over again. Vince took guys that was nothing and made them something. He took guys like who else am I talking about? He took guys like Kofi Kingston, who wasn't supposed to make it, and he made Kofi Kingston a Jamaican. Then he was exposed from being Jamaican to a faking. And you look what Vince did. He took these guys. He made Kofi a WWE champion. He took a muscle-bound Nimrod by the name of Brock Lesnar and made him WWE champion. Made him the first man to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Vince has taken guys and taken and molded him into something that only people can see. A lot of these guys I named should have never made it. He took Terry Bollea and made him perhaps the biggest name in professional wrestling history. He took Randy Savage and made him one of the biggest names of wrestling history. He took Dusty Rhodes, put him in polka dots, and Dusty became a bigger star when he was in WWF than he was in the NWA. He took Dustin Rhodes, who when he was in WCW, he was called the natural Dustin Rhodes. Put him in gold. Called him Gold Dust. And the rest is history. Vince took a lot of guys that was not meant to make it, and they made it. Took Val Venus, a guy who was wrestling in CMLA. I forget his name over there. Brought him over there and made him an adult porn star, and Val Venus made it. I mean, look at what Vince McMahon did. Look at the guys he's made. Jim Ross, who was the lead commentator for UFW, NWA, WCW. Who? I mean, lead commentator of all them company. Put him on Monday Night Raw next to him and Jerry Lawler. And he made JR the voice of Monday Night Raw for so many years. Oh, he's a backstage personnel now. Jerry Lawler, who didn't need to make a name for himself because he made a name for himself of Andy Kaufman. But he took Jerry Lawler and he put Jerry Lawler with Bret the Hitman Hart in a Kiss My Foot match. And Lawler, the matter of fact, before that happened, it was Lawler and Bret Hart at SummerSlam. Lawler won that match by disqualification, but a win's a win no matter how you get it. He won that match. They had a Kiss My Foot match. Bret Hart won that match. That made Jerry Lawler's career. He took Batista, a bouncer who worked in DC, and made him the world heavyweight champion. And the rest is history. John Cena. The list of people Vince McMahon has made famous. He gave guys in the writing production. He made Eric Bischoff the on-screen general manager for Monday Night Raw. The same guy who tried to put Vince McMahon out of business. Come on, man. He brought guys over from WCW and made them bigger stars than they was in WCW. Booker T, DDP. Who else? That's about it, to be honest with you. That's all I can think of. Paul Heyman. I'm a Paul Heyman guy, through and through. I am a Paul Heyman guy, hands down. People call him the cult leader of ECW. Well, you can call him whatever you want, but Paul Heyman, in my opinion, the best advocate, the best manager, next to Bobby Eaton. And Vince took him, put him with Brock Lesnar. And look what Heyman did for Brock Lesnar. If Vince McMahon never put Paul Heyman with Brock Lesnar, there is no Brock Lesnar. Brock couldn't talk. Brock couldn't do nothing. Paul was the talker. If it wasn't for Paul Heyman being with Brock Lesnar, there is no Brock Lesnar. There is no Beast. There is no Conqueror. There is no nothing. Paul made Brock Lesnar just like he did a lot of other guys. He made Tommy Dreamer. He made the Dudley Boys. He made New Jack. He made the Sandman. I don't know if you want to put the Sandman in that category, but he made them guys. He made RVD. Because without Paul Heyman and ECW, none of them guys would have made it to WWE. The championship pursuit, in my opinion, it's just my opinion. I don't care what company you're in. WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, WFCW. If you're not there to be on the top of the mountain, then you do not deserve to be there. If you're satisfied with being a mid-card wrestler, then go somewhere else and be a mid-card wrestler. If you're in this business, you want to be the best. That's your desire. You want to be the best. Okay? In WWE, you look at the champions over there, all them guys, the guys is on top. I may not like Seth Rollins, but he on top. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Dragunov. Them guys on top. Not to mention the woman that on top. You got Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley, who I can't stand, and the NXT Women's Champion Becky Lynch, who I can't stand either. But them women are on top. You got women in the WFCW like Maddie, Akira Star, Toya, Baby D, who's coming back. These females are on top. You got the Queen Shalonda, who had a heck of a run her first reign as women's champion. Toya had a heck of a run her first reign as national champion. If you're not here to be the best, why are you here? Why are you in the wrestling business? I don't get it. You got a guy in the WFCW who's called the end-all be-all. And he started off with the basic moveset. And he rose to the cream of the crop. He rose to the top of the mountain. Why? Because he had that desire. He had that driven. He had that fire to go from the middle from the bottom all the way to the top. That's what he did. If you're not in the WFCW to be at the top, get out. Because you're wasting the owner's time and you're wasting your own time. If you're satisfied with just being a mid-card wrestler, get out. I had to throw that in there. Get out. Because the top of the mountain in WFCW, I heard him say this on many occasions. I want to meet him one day. He said it himself. He says the end all be all. It's the big OC. It's Jay New. If you are satisfied with being an opening match, being in the middle of the match, being a mid-card superstar, and not being the main event in the WFCW, get out. Thank you. She said it best. If you're not here to be at the top, get out. If you're satisfied with being a mid-card wrestler, get out. There's no place. You got guys who worked their butt off and never made it to the top of the mountain. Guys like Billy Kidman, guys like the Disco Inferno, guys like Raph, guys like Brian Adams, Robinson Rick Rude, Scott Hall, never made it to the top, but they worked their butt off. Scott Hall was in the main event one time. If you're not in the WFCW to be a world champion, and if you're only satisfied with being in the middle of the card or a mid-card wrestler, get out. Because your career is going nowhere. You have to pursue the championship you want. That's what the end-all be-all did. From day one, when he was the first champion, he pursued it after he lost it. He pursued it after he lost it. No matter if he was given a shot, no matter if he earned a shot, he took what was given to him. If somebody hand you $1 million, you gonna turn that $1 million down and say, "Oh no, I want to earn this." No, the end all be all took the opportunity and made the best of the opportunity. Shalonda, she took the opportunity, she made the best of the opportunity. Toya took the opportunity and made the best of the opportunity. Maddie, thank you. Maddie took the opportunity, make the best of it. If you're satisfied with just being the TV, the legends, the US, the Intercontinental Champion, get out. Why are you here if you don't want to be the best? Look at the guys in the WFCW. The Purpose, who's a 2-time world champion. The current world champion on Tuesday nights, the Big OC. The current world champion on Thursday night, Jay New. Guys who want to be the best. If you're scratching and clawing to be at the best in the tag team division, knock off the DS. Knock off Jacob and Caleb. But if you're just satisfied with winning the US, the Intercontinental, the Legends Championship, the Global Championship, the Hardcore Championship, why are you in the WFCW in the first place? The Big Beefy Championship, which current champion is watching right now, Drew. You go after what you want. What is your desires in the WFCW? To be a mid-card player or to be a main event player? The end-all be-all plays the heck out that character. I watch on Tuesdays. I'm a big fan of Tuesdays and Thursdays. He plays the heck out that villain character as a commentator. Some people don't know if he's serious. Some people don't know if he's real. Dutch Mantel said it best. If they can't tell you're in character, when you're in character, you got them eating out the palm of your hands. If they don't know if you're not serious or you are serious, you got them eating out the palm of your hands. The question I have for you is this. Drew, I'm going to ask you a question. How badly do you want to be a world champion in the WFCW? Comment now. Toya, how badly do you want to be back on top of the women's division? I'll wait for your response. Anybody else that's watching and you from the WFCW, how badly do you want to be on top in the WFCW? And if you're not watching wrestling, and if you're in wrestling, how badly do you want to be on top of the mountain? I'm going to give y'all enough time before I move forward. I want to hear y'all questions. How badly do you want to be on? If you're from the WFCW and you watch it in the chat right now, how badly do you want to be a world champion? Or are you satisfied with just being a mid-card? Drew, Toya, how badly? That's something you got to take it with them. I can't help you with that. Drew, you still watching? How badly do you want to be on top? How badly do you want to be the world champion? Right now, you're the big beefy champion, which I don't know why that belt exists. I got 2 people watching. Whoever else is watching besides Toya, comment on it. I want to hear your thoughts before I go. Let's get 5 likes. I got 2 people watching. Let's get those likes up to 5. Nobody else want to comment? All right, that's fine. I get it. I totally get it. All I'm saying is this. If you're from the WFCW you watching, and you satisfied with being just a mid-card wrestler, why are you even in the WFCW? Go find another profession. Find another profession. Find something. Go be somebody's dog walker. Go bag groceries. Go pump gas. Because if you're not here to be the best, you're wasting your own time. That's all I got to say. Because to me, it's if you're not here to be the best at what you do, why are you here? And I'm not taking shots at nobody. I'm just making a point. Why are you here? I'm just saying. This is the master of the mat. And before we leave, I'm going to play a theme music. And so that way I'm playing somebody's theme music. Gotta search it out real quick. It's gonna be an old school theme music. Tablet. One second. Okay, who am I gonna play? I know who. I'm not playing his. Lord Steven Regal's theme music, WCW. What? Give me 1 second. What up, Joe? So, this has been another edition of the Master of the Mat. And thank you all that watch, and those that watch later, I thank you for watching later. Like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to try to do this every Sunday. Next Sunday, I won't be doing this because I'll be out of town, but I will be doing it on Monday. If not Monday, Tuesday. Sorry, this is also stuff. 1 second, I'm sorry.
Simply ravishing.
Hey, I didn't like you in WWE.
Disco fever, disco fever, disco fever. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I gotta make better decisions when it comes to theme music. Okay, that'll work. 1 second. Now, if anybody was upset or mad about what I said, I truly apologize. I'm just making a statement. If you're not in the WFCW to be at the very best, you're wasting your time. Andrew, if you're back, how badly do you want to be the World Heavyweight Champion? Comment in the box. Well, this has been the Master of the Mat. I'm your host, Anthony the Origin Bryant. I thank everybody who watched. I thank everybody who came through and gave me a like. And like I said, next Sunday I won't be doing this because I'll be out of town. But I will be doing it perhaps Monday. Sorry, y'all. Monday or Tuesday. It depends on my schedule is. So, y'all have a wonderful and blessed Sunday evening. And you have a wonderful and blessed week. Till then, this is the Master of the Mat. And I'm trying to get you decent theme music before I leave. So, enjoy perhaps one of my favorite tag teams at AEW.
Top of the chain, so I bet you know the name. Everybody saying that they want to be.
Sonny Kiss, you losing to Acclaim tonight, cause you can't get on TV to save your life. I'm leaving with my hand raised up. You got silicone in your pancake butt. I thought you had ass. Where's that jelly? Looking like Plank from Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
Wow.
I'ma bend your knees like the Shmoney dance. And you couldn't get laid at the Bunny Ranch. Your girl told me that you're such a bitch. I'ma put you on the shelf like your brother is. Honestly, I had something to say, but somebody made me sign an NDA. Don't be mad at me, bro, cause you only known for your wife's reality show. And you should eat some eggs. Look at Bowen's arms, they're bigger than your legs. I'ma put you in the poverty, dog, cause I end careers quicker than your father-in-law. Hey, yo, Acclaim got the cake up. Sonny, you should let Janela borrow some makeup. On second thought, I think I'll pass. You're not that cute, and I got a better ass. Oh, hide your wives, hide your daughters. It's the two least popular guys in Dark Order. You interrupt every segment. That's the only way you guys can stay relevant. Platinum on the mic. Nobody can outdo. This guy's like an NFT. No value. I shine bright. I'm illuminated. I bury you lower than Biden's approval rating.
We have no choice.
This is the worst place that I ever heard of. Y'all are dumb enough to vote for Jesse Ventura. And I've been thinking all night, how is it Dark Order when all of y'all white? You so cringe and stupid, more overrated than Prince's music.
Turn this over with I end
No
the show.
filter, I ain't Instagram. We make the ass boys retire like Vince McMahon. Who beats you down and you know the rest. I'm more positive than Joe Biden's COVID test. Acclaimed as the paradigm shift. These two guys exchange Valentine's gifts. Call your girl, she all in my mentions. Trying to hit me up for some oral sessions. Acclaimed in the guns, what the fans prefer. We're about to make y'all pay like Amber Heard. Looking punk, yo, I'm mortified. Looking like you live underneath the 405. Yo, I'ma lay this dude down like a sex position. I'm main event max, he's X division. And I'm badly in hell, got that towel because you can't stop playing with yourself. So I'm sending you home, you're not a tough guy, Joe, you just injury prone. And Tony, why we give this guy a chance when we beat them in the ratings? He was their champ.
True.
Christian dusted off the cobwebs. He used to be cool, but only when he had an edge. It's dusted in the place, but you're so ugly you should paint your whole face. This guy's big, but a small talker. I light you up like Lady Gaga's dog walker. And I ain't done spitting. -1, you about to catch a butt whipping. See me in the streets. Hey, yo, Moxley, welcome back. But your wifey still ain't called me back. For real, you getting cooked. Bowen's putting you to sleep like he was your book. The Acclaim.
I'm out. That's the last.
Hey, the network called. He said, watch your mouth. Yo, Acclaim make you stupid. Cut your lights off like we cut off Judas.